All right, away we go. First extra time I've had the pleasure of conducting for quite a while. I've got a pink bit of paper as well, full of questions ready to pose to these three ex-Hammers. We'll get to that actually later. Three West Ham United legends in Don Hutchinson, Shagger Hislop and Stuart Robson. I'll save the West Ham question. Madhu, Don, for you first of all, and this is off the back of the Karim Benzema Vinicius set to, telling him not to pass, or Mendy not to pass to Vinicius. Don, have you ever told your teammate not to pass a ball to a teammate or to another player?
No, I wouldn't dare ever say that. Not a chance. I don't know how you can get away with that. Listen, we've all been in games where you've been playing poorly and maybe subconsciously you've not given someone the ball because you think they might be having a bit of a nightmare 10, 15 minutes, but we've all had them. I've never, ever, ever, and would never tell anyone not to pass someone the ball.
Not even in jest, Shaka? Has it ever been said if someone's having a real stinker?
I was about to say, I've told players not to pass the ball to me. Have you ever seen me kick?
That's a whole different category.
Don't be giving me the ball there.
I mean, Shaq, there was a moment in the 4-4 draw against Charlton. I didn't think about a back pass to you.
Yeah, that's right. That was guaranteed 5-4. Don't worry about that.
Stuart, Robert, what did you make of it? I'm sure you heard Stevie and Craig weighing in on this. Stevie said it's evidence of rottenness in the state of Madrid. Is it?
I would suggest so. If players are starting to talk about other players and say don't pass him the ball, I mean, how does he think he's going to affect another player to say you can't pass him the ball? Suggesting that it's a form of bullying in some way. A senior player trying to put down a younger player. I think it's all wrong. I can't ever remember it taking place when I was playing, although I do remember one of our centre forwards when we used to have a kick-off when we just conceded a goal, chipping it to our left back and making it difficult for him, so the crowd booed him, which I don't think was the best idea at the time.
But Marca, by the way, are reporting that Benzema and Vinicius have cleared the air today in training, so I guess there's that. Mentalist Medic, why do the lads keep saying all Manchester United that is, do is counter-attack? In the Leipzig and PSG games, we clearly dominated both games. We didn't sit back waiting for them. Yet there's a tag United have that they are a counter-attacking team. Isn't it time to move past that, Don? Isn't it time?
No, I think it's fair. I think when you watched Man United over the last 18 months, I think their best performances have came when they've counter-attacked sides. I mean, I'll go back to last season when they had a real tough week and Ollie was under pressure and they played Man City and Tottenham and they played counter-attacking football in both games inside the same week and beat the pair of them. There is a thought process where Man United have to evolve, and in the two games that the guys mentioned in there, I thought their possession stats were a whole lot better. But I still think if you ask Man United in any big game across Europe what style you're going to win in, or what potential style you're going to win the game in, I would suggest it would be counter-attacking than against teams that we've seen in the Premier League when they've had possession against teams like Brighton, when Brighton hit the woodwork 5 times, and teams like when they played Crystal Palace and Crystal Palace beat them. So I think their best results have came when they played counter-attacking football.
Robert?
Yeah, I mean, even when you're trying to dominate a game, if you want to make sure you get more possession, you want to be on the front foot, there's still going to be moments in games when you're forced back, and then when the ball changes hands, you can counter-attack. And I think that's what Manchester United have done very well. That's when they look at their most threatening, as we saw last night against Leipzig, because they were 1-0 up. Leipzig are trying to dominate possession. They're trying to get back into the game. And every time Manchester United picked up the ball from that moment on, space in behind, Rashford, and whoever else was running in behind, that's when they looked at their most threatening. So it can happen even when you're trying to dominate the game.
And besides, Shaq, is there anything wrong with being a counter-attacking team? There's been some great counter-attacking teams. Somehow it's not part of Manchester United's DNA, apparently.
Yeah, well, when you're Manchester United, and particularly in the Premier League, you're not expected to just be a counter-attacking team. And I think that's where they've kind of struggled most, when teams have sat back and soaked up pressure, and they haven't been able to get that running game going. But you're right. I don't think there's any embarrassment to being a counter-attacking team. I remember Real Madrid of a few years ago being the best counter-attacking team in world football. That wasn't an issue if that's who you are. As long as you defend well, you have good passes out to midfield. I don't see that as being a criticism worth really taking on. You know, if that's what you do, if that's the people you have, then so be it. I don't get it.
All right, Vishal has teed us up for an interesting two-horse race here. He poses this one. Who's going to come back to life first? Paul Pogba or Antoine Griezmann? Now, who's your money on, Don?
Oof.
I would probably lean towards being Paul Pogba because I think he's got the tools to improve at any given time. I think what Antoine Griezmann, it just doesn't seem a right fit to me at Barca. And it's not because he's not good enough. I just think he hasn't got that turn of pace where Barca, I think now, are a team that look a little bit slow. And I think they need an injection of pace. I think with Paul Pogba, he's got all the talent in the world, plays in a different position, so he can boss games a lot more. So if I was leaning towards the two, it would be Paul Pogba.
Robbo, they both look great for France on a regular basis, don't they?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Don. When Paul Pogba's playing at his very best, he can be one of the best midfield players in the world, and he's proved that on many occasions. With Griezmann, there's a lot better centre forwards, a lot better wide players wherever he wants to play, a lot better number 10s than Griezmann, even when he's playing at his very best. So who's going to be the better and get back to be a top class player? It's going to be Paul Pogba.
Shagger?
Yeah, I agree. Listen, we've said this before. I think Paul Pogba makes great teams better, but he doesn't carry teams. So I think it's more likely that you see Manchester United add a couple of players and actually bring the best out of Paul Pogba. I don't see how it gets any better for Griezmann at Barcelona.
All right, meanwhile, ding dong, the witch is dead at Barcelona. We saw Bartomeu leave, and immediately they get a great result against Juventus. So it poses this question: now there's going to be different leadership. Do they have more chance to win the Champions League this year? Was that performance anything to do with a president leaving, Stuart?
It might produce a slightly better feeling within the camp, certainly in Messi's camp. He might then be more exuberant with the other players, but the president's not going to make the team bad or good. But it was a much better performance. There was more energy about it. There's more intensity. But I don't think it was any coincidence that Juventus at the moment are a poor side, with Andrea Pirlo getting most of his tactics wrong.
Yeah. Don, Craig made that point on yesterday's show. It was more about Juventus being bad, wasn't it, than Barcelona players being inspired by Bartomeu's exit?
Yeah, I think so. And Alvaro Morata scored a hat-trick of goals and all got disallowed by VAR as well. So it could have been a completely different story. And I go back to match day 1 in the Champions League, last week, when I commentated on that game against Ferencváros, and they were awful, Barca. They won the game comfortably in terms of the scoreline, but the first half an hour of the game, Clement Longley and Piqué were all over the place, and they could have been 2-0 down. So bigger teams will have a field day against Barca. I think Coutinho's now got an injury. The only way I see this is being fixed if, once the president does leave, and he has left, is when they elect a new president, they'll probably then look to bring Xavi in, who will then come into the football club, have different ideas, and then he'll get the best out of Messi. Then hopefully for Barca fans out there, there'll be money to spend. Don't know where they're going to get that from at the moment. So I think in the short term, I don't think Barca are anywhere near in the league of Bayern Munich. They're the strongest team in Europe by far.
But Shaka, can a change at the very top of an organisation actually filter down and have an effect on the pitch?
Right, I think it can have it had an effect on Lionel Messi, or can have a long-term effect on Lionel Messi, kind of given their relationship, and what Lionel Messi means to this Barcelona team. But going back to that Juventus-Barca game, I felt this was more a case of Juventus being unlucky. The 3 offside goals that Don mentioned. Dembele scores off a deflection, and then a last-minute penalty to seal it for Barca. So it's more Juventus being unlucky than Barcelona being all that good, in all honesty. Do I see Barcelona winning the Champions League as we sit right now? Absolutely not.
All right, 3 ex-Hammers on the panel. Doesn't happen too often. I don't know if this is a first. It probably has happened before. There's only one Hammer of the Year amongst you, though. Who was that, Robbo? You reminded me of that earlier.
Well, yeah, it was 87 to 88. I think it was Hammer of the Year.
I can't.
It means when they closed down Upton Park, I got to walk round the pitch as one of the Hammers of the Year. It was absolutely boring. I mean, great.
So, does that count, though, Robbo? Because, football was only formed in 1992.
Yeah, if it wasn't the Premier League, it wasn't proper football, was it?
It was brought back, yes. That's right. It didn't exist before 92. So what did the three of you make of the start the Hammers have made this season?
Adrian, Hold on, Adrian. I'm a Hammer of the Year, 98-99.
Were you?
I'd like to add my name to that list.
Robbo claims he's the only one on this
99.
panel. No, Robbo said he's the only one.
No,
well,
Shaka, I
that's
know
exactly like
West Ham
Phil
support.
Robson to be.
You put the votes in yourself, Shaka. You can't vote for yourself.
Might I add, Hammer of the Year in West Ham's highest ever Premier League finish season. Carry on.
Yep. All right. So that's...
Who out of us three has been West Ham's record signing twice?
Ooh. I'm
Don,
figuring it wasn't.
Keep them.
Figuring it wasn't Stewart.
Yeah.
Shaka was signed twice by him.
Give him that I was a free transfer both times, I'm the record cheapest signing twice.
So Bard,
and the West Ham fans still said you were too expensive.
So Don, it was you that cost them all that money, was it?
Well, of course it was, Adrian. I was sort of teeing myself up, wasn't it? Just to knock it out of the park.
Yeah. So
listen, Adrian, with all that money he got, I've seen the castle he lives at in Loughton, just down the road from West Ham. And he could have gone anywhere in the country, but they bought him a castle in Loughton. Unbelievable.
Hutchinson Towers, yeah? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I wish.
So, what do you make of it?
Shaka Partsi's Maseratis there.
Yes, he did. So the start they've made this year, what do you make of it?
It's been exceptional.
Yeah.
It's been brilliant. I was there for the first game, Adrian, the Newcastle game. And Newcastle walked all over West Ham, and there was doom and gloom everywhere. And I walked away from that game thinking West Ham are going to be banging trouble, because you looked at the 6 or 7 fixtures after that Newcastle game and you thought they are really, really in trouble. The performance weren't good enough. Then all of a sudden, I think they put 4 past Wolves, I think 3 past Leicester, come back against Tottenham. So the feel-good factor at the moment, they are flying.
Shagger, you happy?
Ever since David Moyes tested positive for COVID-19, they've been great.
The secret formula. The secret formula for success.
I think what you also have to do, Adrian, is give a lot of credit to Antonio, the centre forward, because he's played everywhere else, but he's given them real drive in that centre forward position. He's running behind, he's good in the air, and it's a shame he got injured in the last game. They might just miss him.
All right. Well, finally, Robert takes us from the Hammers to horror films, which is an interesting segue. What horror film scared you the most as a child?
All of them.
I'll weigh in with The Omen first. I used to be terrified by The Omen, Damien and all that stuff. Oh, no. Even now it gives me the
Can't watch him.
creeps.
Can't
The
watch him, Adrian.
Exorcist for me.
Can't watch him.
Exorcist did it for me. After that,
Exorcist?
nothing.
Which one, Shaq?
The Exorcist.
Yeah, I refused to watch horror films after that.
Oh. That was it? That was the end of your... Yeah.
Can't watch
No
him.
more.
All right. Robbo, you must have seen a few.
No, I've got to say, I haven't ever watched a horror film. As soon as it says horror film, I go, no, what a load of old rubbish, and don't watch it.
I mean, I switched on a West Ham performance when Robbo was playing back in the 80s, and that was a horror performance.
Hey! Yeah, it would have been.
Never made its way past.
Yeah.
Never made its way past the censors. That one. It was cut off at its prime. All right.
I don't know how people watch them. How do people watch horrors? How do people watch them and go to bed?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. It's bizarre, isn't it?
And think they're entertaining. How do they think they're entertaining?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Dan Thomas, probably.
Right.
Dan Thomas. I reckon he watches them.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, Robert. Thanks for that. The Hammer House of Horror. They used to be good, actually. Those films, but they weren't really horror films. They were something else entirely. Thanks to all 3 of you. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time, same place. Friday's edition of the show will be teeing up the weekend.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.